How do bees find their pollen?
How do barcodes work?
And how do you play the didgeridoo?
How? How?
How?
First how of the series, how can you catch nothing in a paper bag? Carol, Fred?
Even you can't catch nothing.
No, you've got to have something.
You're going to have
catch
something.
in the bag.
I'll prove to you I can catch nothing. In fact, you want to put money on it?
Absolutely.
Of course I do.
10p in the kitty.
We're
series.
going to win this back straight away, Fred.
Easy.
Yep.
This is an empty paper bag, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, nothing
Yes,
in there, right?
nothing in there.
I'm going to take nothing out of the paper bag,
Yep.
throw it and catch it. Hut! Woo! Caught it. And again. Hut! Aye! Caught it.
How do you do that, Toppy?
I can tell you haven't worked this out, Fred. If you can click your fingers, you can do this how. You just click your finger whilst holding the bag. Look, and it looks like something's fallen in. Look. There. See? Easy.
Can we have a go at it?
You can
Can
do
I
it.
do it, do you think?
I think there's a slim chance you might be able to, Fred.
Yeah?
You, Carol. Go on.
OK,
Right.
can you
Yeah,
throw me something?
All right, here we go, Fred. I'm taking nothing and I'm throwing it to you now. Hut!
Yep.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Can't go wrong. Throw it to Carol.
It's going to bounce. Ready?
Oh, boing. Oh, well
That
done.
was quick, wasn't it?
Now, my grand finale, I will attempt to catch 2 nothings in 2 paper bags. So it's a throw your nothings to me. You ready?
Okay.
You're gonna wait for it, ready? Okay, Carol, Fred, go. Boing, boo-ha, oh. Aha! That's how you catch nothing in a paper bag, and actually I should put something in my paper bag for my 20p winnings. That's how.
Gosh.
Yeah, a cheat. Now, how do barcodes work?
Carol, thank goodness for a sensible how.
I quite agree with you, Fred, I quite agree. Well, let's have a look at some barcodes that you find on packaging in supermarkets and shops. You often see the operator simply scans the barcode. That reads the code into the computer. That then knows the price, and it's all very clever. It gives you a total and tells you how much money you owe the supermarket. But how do barcodes work? Well, to find out, let's have a look at one in more detail. You'll see there are black lines and white spaces. Now, the reason a barcoder works is because of this scanner. The scanner is a little like a torch because it gives out light, and when it scans the code, the sensors inside it detect how much light is being reflected. Now, all the black bits absorb light, and all the white spaces reflect light. So, this is a barcode, and so is this. Slightly bigger, but works on exactly the same principle. Now, the scanner knows it's hit a barcode because of a start mark on the code. Then, as it moves along, each number is detected by approximately 2 black and 2 white spaces. Now, the scanner knows that is 1, that is 2, 3, and so on because of the width of the black bits and the white bits. Here we have 7, 8, 9, 0, 0, and finally a stop mark. So that's how a scanner detects the code, and that's how the computer knows what the item is, what the price is, and it works out the total.
Carol, that small barcode there is the same as that big one.
It is, yeah.
But they're not real barcodes, are they?
Well, this is, yes, it does stand for something in a supermarket. Yeah. If I show you what it is, do you want it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you give me the money?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just scan that then. And I just happen to have one here. That's £199.99, a snip at half the price, Mr. Jones.
Will you take your 10p back as payment?
That'll do. And that is how barcodes work.
How do bees find their pollen? Extraordinary creatures, bees. In the days before we imported sugar, they provided our sweetness in the form of honey. In the days before electricity, they provided our light in the form of the beeswax candle. Truly, they did bring sweetness and light.
But Fred, that's not the how. The how is how do bees find their pollen?
Indeed it is, Toppy, and to illustrate that how the way I would like to, which is perfectly, you need a perfect personal observation hive, which I have in fact brought with me. You also need special protective clothing, which I also have. Come with me to my personal observation hive. Here are the bees. There are 3 different sorts of bees. First of all, the workers. Interestingly enough, they're all female. There are the drones, who don't do a great deal except drone around, and the most important member of the family of all, the queen bee. She can produce up to 2,000 eggs a day. She's in there somewhere, and I've marked her with a white spot. The workers, they go out and collect the pollen, which they turn into the honeycomb. In the wild, the honeycomb is found on rocks and in trees. But obviously, in my personal observation hive, there it is. It is built on a little wooden frame, like that.
Yes, but how do bees find the pollen?
I'm glad you asked me that. The bees find the pollen because they see things in a different way to us. They have the ability to see ultraviolet light, you see. And when they look at the petal of a flower, they see lines leading down the petal to where the pollen actually is. If we take a look at an evening primrose flower, that's how we see it, and this is how the bee sees it. The lines leading down to the darkest part, and that is where the pollen is. And that's how bees find the pollen.
That's very good, Fred.
Thank
But
you.
that is an observation hive.
Correct.
The bees can't get out of it.
Correct.
Then why are you in such stupid clothing?
How do you play the didgeridoo?
Now, don't tell me that you can play the didgeridoo.
Oh, no, Carol. But I know a man who can. This is didgeridoo player Nigel Warwick. Nigel, what is a didgeridoo?
It's the branch of a eucalyptus tree from Australia. There's a hole all the way down the middle, which is made by termites.
Oh, so you let the insects do the work?
You let them do the work, yeah.
How do you play it? Will you show me how?
You make the sound with your lips,
Uh-huh.
and it gets amplified by the wood and comes out the end.
You just like a trumpet?
A bit like a trumpet, but your lips are more floppy. So, yep. Can you do that?
I'll have a go. I'll have a go. That sort of thing.
Fantastic.
Can I play the didgeridoo now?
There's one other thing you have to be able to do.
What's that?
That's called circular breathing.
Now, is that got anything to do with this glass of water that you've got here?
It has.
I heard about this. What do I do? Show me.
First of all, take a mouthful of water and put it in your cheeks. Now, can you slowly blow the water back into the glass? Yep. And can you sniff while you're doing that? Right, so there's air going in your nose and there's water coming out of your mouth. So now,
That's circular breathing.
if you could do that with air going in your nose and air coming out of your mouth, that would be circular breathing.
I can't, I run out of breath. You show me how to play the didgeridoo. Take it away, Nigel Warwick.
Now, how do you keep a cool head?
Suave and sophisticated.
Yeah, dress in really fashionable designer labels. Hip clothing.
yes,
Hip. No, actually, what I mean is, on a hot day, how do you keep your head cool? Well, to show you one device which has been looked at in the research laboratories of the Vorderman Corporation, here we have a solar-powered hat fan. You can see the fan here at the front of the hat. Simply place it on the head and it keeps your head beautifully cool. But how does it work?
Well, obviously the fan's blowing cold air. If you don't mind me saying so, it's a bit of a naff howl, this.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Here's a thermometer. The temperature in the studio is 29 degrees. Very hot indeed.
Yes.
Put that in front of the fan and you say that the temperature will go down.
Of course it will.
Of course it
Will
will.
it?
It's obvious, isn't it?
All right.
You don't need to be a scientific brain for that, do you?
Let's have a look. Still 29 degrees. What do you say about that?
Because the fan's small, you need a bigger fan,
It's
obviously.
just a toy fan.
A
It's
toy
hardly
fan.
scientific, is it?
Yes.
Have a look at this fan. Switch this on. 29 degrees. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Put it in front of the fan. You say it should go down.
Yes. Yeah, of course it should.
No, it isn't actually. It's still 29 degrees.
And then use a bigger fan.
Yeah, so
Bigger fan.
it's pathetic.
Well, here's a bigger thermometer and a bigger fan. See the temperature. Let's see what happens to it. No, not a lot's happening actually, gentlemen, is it?
All right, explain.
All right, then let's do a little experiment. Lick your hand and blow on it. What do you feel?
It's cooling where the spit is.
Your hand's getting colder. Exactly. Now then, what's happening is evaporation. Let me put this fan on. I've got 2 thermometers in front of it, and as we saw before, nothing happens to the temperature. However, if I put water onto the bulb of the thermometer, the wind that's passing over it evaporates the water. Now, to do that, it needs to draw heat from the thermometer. Therefore, it cools the thermometer down and the temperature goes down. It's just like if you're standing on a beach after you've been swimming and you're wet and the wind's blowing, you feel really, really cold. Or on a hot day, if you've got a sweaty face and you fan your face, what's happening is the water is evaporating and cooling your head down. So that is how you can keep a cool head.
Like I said, it's a good how, this. Here's another one. How old are your marbles? Marbles, in fact, go back a long, long way. I know this because I come from a long line of marblers, and I only have to consult the Dinage family album. Back to the 16th century, William Dine Spear, that was his name. The other was a quill name. And in the 16th century, they used to use cherry stones to play marbles with. They'd eat the cherry and then spit the stone into a cherry pit or a hole in the ground. And there is a reference to this in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. That's how they played in the 16th century.
Is that the original marble, then?
No, no, no. Marbles go back to ancient Greece and Archidines, who leapt from his bath screaming, "O Miller, O Miller."
Why did he do that?
Because that was the name of his game, which was actually nuts. And you had to knock nuts out of a circle. And if you did it, you kept them.
So is that how old marbles are?
No, it goes back to the ancient Egyptians, the pharaohs, and Tutankhamun. Here is Tutankhamun. And in those days, they used to play with pillars and marbles made of clay, which they would roll through the pillars like that, trying to get themselves points. That's how the pharaohs used to play.
The original marble, then?
No, even that isn't the original marble, because the original marble goes back to the cavemen and Barney Dine Stone.
No.
Yes, and the cavemen used to play with perfectly smooth, perfectly round pebbles.
But how did they get them so round?
They got them that round and smooth by dipping them in streams and rivers, and the water would make them perfectly round. And they found pebbles, marbles like this in very old caves in Austria. So that's how old marbles are, right back to the cavemen.
I thought you lost your marbles years ago, Fred. How true is a fairy tale? Take, for instance, the story of Rapunzel, where the prince climbs up Rapunzel's golden hair. What do you think? True?
Rubbish.
No, it couldn't be true. It couldn't possibly be.
Well, the question is, how strong is hair? Now, I have a human hair here. Can you see that there?
Yeah.
And how strong is it? Well, let's add a weight of 25 grams and see how it takes it. No trouble. Another 25 grams, maybe. 50 grams. It's starting to stretch. I'll add another 15 grams and it breaks.
See,
So-
I told you it couldn't be true.
well, on its own, hair isn't very strong, but in combination, now here we have 4 strands of hair plaited together. Look, there's already 75 grams hanging from it there. I can add another 25 grams. Look, and it's still showing no signs of stretching, let alone breaking. The key is in the plaiting, and in fact, that's how string is strong. It's exactly the same thing. String is just a bunch of strands plaited together. It's the plaiting that makes it strong. So how true is the story of Rapunzel? Join me for a serious scientific experiment in Fairy Tale Land. And in Fairy Tale Land, we find the wicked warlock, played by Fred, holding the beautiful Rapunzel captive in his tower.
Oh, my prince, my prince.
And it's the job of the handsome prince, played by me, to climb up Rapunzel's hair and save her. Now, I'm taking no chances. I have my safety crown on, and I'm actually on a wire. So, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your golden hair.
But my hair is brown, Prince.
Oh, Carol, that'll do, that'll do. Let that down.
Oh, OK. There it is.
Ah! Oh, fine. Right, can I climb the tower? I'm coming. Fear not, beautiful maiden. Oh, my word. Don't cut that, Fred. Fred, don't cut that.
It won't cut.
I am coming.
Down.
Naughty, naughty.
My princess.
Wicked one, oh, my prince.
And that's how true a fairy tale could have been. And that's how... Whoa! For now.
You do pick 'em, don't you?